PlayStation 5, there's a new design leak. And I mean, I don't know. This article I'm reading on BGR says it's real. But real in what sense? Like, the leak that I'm looking at, it looks like really early stage drawings. Now, it is interesting because it looks nothing like the current, I mean, it looks like a V10 engine. It looks like a spaceship. It looks so, like, I can't imagine it looking like this. So again, it's part of a patent filing, which gathered some steam because an individual, Matthew Stott on _72 on Twitter, said he tweeted out, it's a dev kit. We have some in the office. And then linked to the patent, which is obviously the drawing that Will's showing here, which is this crazy design in a V shape, looks nothing like the current version of a PlayStation. So by him stating it's a dev kit, we have it in the office, it gave extra evidence to individuals that were hoping or guessing that this might be the next PlayStation, because they're like, okay, there's a physical version of the patent filing in existence. But that still doesn't mean that this has to be the commercial version. It could still change leading up to the eventual PlayStation 5, and they may just ship out dev kits that happen to look like this. But I guess maybe you wouldn't typically patent a dev kit. I'm not really sure. Nonetheless, the thing looks wild. Can you imagine it actually looking like that, Will?
I could.
What?
They got to try something radically different. You know?
I mean, okay, so you feel like...
the past PlayStations have been boxes.
Okay, so I feel like if they're going to really pitch this thing the way that it looks here in the dev kit, and I apologize for people that are just listening to the audio, you can't see it. Picture a V shape with a huge groove in the middle. If they can make a case for why it's designed like this, if they can say, look, it's the most powerful PlayStation ever. It's got
something to do with cooling,
advanced cooling.
Yeah.
And that's why the chamber exists in the middle. And if they can make a real case for it, then maybe. But for most people, this thing is way too aggressive to put under your TV.
Well, this is the V, the 5. PlayStation V, you know?
Will, that thing under the average person's like minimal. I mean, it just doesn't even, it looks.
Well, I mean, it could be small.
I don't care. Look at the size of the USB ports on it. It ain't small.
Well.
It ain't small, Will.
I don't mind it. It actually looks really different.
Hey, for the record, I'm not saying I mind it. I'm just saying if you look at the progression of the PlayStation to this point, it's gotten simpler and simpler.
That's true.
The latest version is just a black rectangle with an angle on the front. It's so minimal because, again, people are going to stick it in their living room in a prominent location for the most part. It's going to be out. You're going to see it. And this thing is a real commitment from a style perspective. It's going to have to be suitable for everyone. Mm-hmm. So I think people are being a little too optimistic in assuming that this patent filing is going to be the actual thing. Maybe it will be inspired by this, but I just feel like it's got to be a simplified version of this to be appealing to the wide spectrum of users that a device like a PlayStation has to appeal to.
Yeah, I hear you.
Cool nonetheless.
It is.
Very, what'd you say, Kirk? Steampunky, kind of cyberpunk, Gundam-inspired, Transformer sort of thing. Yeah.
It's very eye-catching. You can definitely do a double take on it.
No doubt about it. You're not going to confuse it for something else if it ends up looking like that, but maybe I would say it's probable that it doesn't look like, that's my guess, that this is simply what the dev kit might look like for the time being. Even still, that's pretty wild if they're actually sending that thing out as a dev kit.